Welcome back to the Goliath and Leviathan show. This is a crazy thing. I know it's been a while, but
Yeah, episode 29. This episode's about censorship, and it's good to be back talking with all you guys.
yeah, welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll jump right into it. So this episode is on censorship. Yeah, so where to begin? I know it's been a while, but thanks for everybody for subscribing, liking, and commenting on the videos as usual, and we'll jump right into it. So as you can see on our main screen, what happened, we were on the VidMe platform, and it was only around for a short time, but yeah, apparently VidMe in itself, the platform is disbanding, not just for us, but for everybody on VidMe. This has been kind of making waves for people that are still not sure what this means. Um, yeah, it's more of platforms or that people can actually have podcasts or talking about freedom of speech on online things. There's multiple ways. We're still, Goliath and myself are still going to be looking into more platforms, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. But for those of you guys who don't know, on our YouTube channel, we suffered a little bit of an attack, I want to say, from the moderators. It's not really clear yet, but yeah, I
It
was.
just it just shows you that censorship. It doesn't matter. It's on big scales and smaller
Mhm.
scales. We've had this channel for 3 months now, and
Yeah.
already we're trying to be shut down.
Yeah, no, yeah. What was crazy is as Goliath said, we're barely really making a dent in anything. I mean, we're starting to just get up from the ground roots, really. And apparently, the YouTube platform, obviously, it has a very strong agenda that is trying to push a narrative agenda, anti-MGTOW sentiment, anti-First Amendment, anti-Second Amendment. Anybody who disagrees with the left. So on multiple channels, we would upload things and videos. And again, we're all very grateful for all the support you guys have. But we just want to let people be aware that the YouTube channel itself, there's a lot of people that run behind the scenes sort of scenarios that can attack conservative platforms.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. Is that they're attacking conservative platforms, and one of the things with censorship
Mm-hmm.
is hate speech. Is that's what they look for? Is they want to shut people down with
Yeah.
harmful talk. There's nothing that we're talking about that has anything to do with hate speech or being harmful or.
Right,
eh,
no, we're just talking. It's like for me, for myself, Leviathan and Goliath, this is more or less like we consider this as a radio broadcast in a
Right.
way, and without going through all the licensing fees, restriction fees, government access fees. And if you look at it too, it's more of with control, you know.
Yeah, it's because it's inconvenient for
Mm-hmm.
them for what they're trying to put out there
Mm-hmm.
for people that of what they want people to hear.
Yeah,
So
it's
they
book.
shut us
It's
down
just
because it's politically incorrect to them.
yes. Essentially, it's like book burning. You know,
Yeah.
it's book burning in our current day and age, and it's encouraged by the far-leaning leftist members of society. The VidMe channel, while that was relatively a new channel for a lot of people, again, it's the whole platform. All the videos are going to be on everybody's VidMe channels are all being erased. And I have a theory as to the fact that, well, they weren't making a lot of money, and it's hard to store that much data online. But I have a feeling that possibly certain members within that ran that platform, I think that some of them were actually paid off by other elements within YouTube in itself to silence certain members of the competition. Because for a lot of people, you know, they were looking at other platforms. Obviously, we're on Minds and Vimeo, and then there's another one we're going to probably be looking into again. It's called BitChute, and basically these platforms compete with YouTube, and it is drawing concern to YouTube in itself because a lot of people are
There
being
has to be another
silenced.
platform that has to start up soon
Yeah.
because too many people are being silenced on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. And I mean, just to name a few, listen to the list of other countries that censor people on the
Yeah.
internet. And listen, North Korea, number one.
Oh, obviously.
Okay, Cuba, Saudi Arabia, Iran, China, Syria.
Mm-hmm.
Those are just to name a few, and they jail journalists if
Yeah.
if it's not to what they want
Mm-hmm.
their people to hear.
Yeah.
And this is the United States of America, and for them, you know, for platforms like YouTube, Facebook, you know, whatever that's trying to silence people's opinion,
Yeah.
it's not going to stand for a long time.
Well, I mean, yeah, and then there's also the fact of, as I said, I was mentioning before, is there's people that run those platforms behind the scenes, which was exposed relatively recent with the Project Veritas, people that do actual journalism. They expose the stuff that goes on in YouTube. They did an undercover report. I watched a bit of it. Basically, the certain elements within the YouTube people behind the scenes that can, when videos are uploaded to the site, there's so many videos are uploaded to YouTube daily, right? We understand that. But there's a specific agenda to silence any sort of criticism, to actually, they can go into people's channels and disrupt the analytics. They can actually, really in a sense, they can delete your channel, you know, not necessarily for 3 strikes. I know there's other people that just can be outright disbanded from YouTube. And it's going against whatever the agenda or narrative that they want to push. So again, it's just to be aware of things of censorship, and you know, we're still branching out. We're going to branch out to other platforms. The main ones we have on the bottom are still there, but the VidMe platform has been silenced. So
yeah, so we're just gonna stay on for as long as we could. We're gonna keep on trying, like Leviathan said, with other platforms, and you know, YouTube has a creepy way of you know, what they want people to see.
mm-hmm.
You know,
It's
like
usually the top trending things are always like stuff that the left wants, and it's not like either, if it's not even the most viewed thing, it's usually, again with the agenda and the narrative. And this has been going on since before the election between Trump and Hillary. You know, I mean, they were constantly trying to push more of the left, but then it went into full swing after Trump won. So
yeah, so and also what people don't want to a lot of people might not know is that in 2012, Barack Obama signed an act, HR 4310,
mm-hmm.
National Defense Authorization Act, which authorizes the use of propaganda inside the United States.
Yeah.
Okay, which had previously been banned since 1948 when the Smith-Munn Act was passed.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously all this stuff starts up again when he was in office.
Yeah.
And it's been leeching on
mm-hmm.
to an even bigger you know, storm.
Yeah. I mean, there's always been a little bit of government propaganda and like obviously a certain agenda pushing all kinds of propaganda. It's been very subtle, but within the past 10 years, I can definitely say it has been revving up.
It's
It has been
definitely
revving up.
leaked into other areas.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, I mean, on top of that, then there's the whole, if you want to look at another aspect, not just book burning itself of today, like actually deleting online presence and videos or whatever platform you have, like what almost was happening to us, even though we're small, right, and we're still growing. But you can also look at the fact that there's big things called data mining centers, right? So where all of your information in itself um, can be basically your sort of your fingerprint online, your presence, whether you take photos or who you like or dislike. You're basically creating an entire bio of yourself online, right? Um, and the government can pinpoint who you are, what you like, what you don't like, and then they can basically go after you for any number of things.
Yeah,
It's
and
very Orwellian, very Orwellian.
yeah, and when you follow a lot of people, subscribe to a lot of people, they can skip the video and make it not come on your timeline to where you might not be able to even see
Yeah.
what the person's posted
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said, it doesn't fit their agenda of what they want people on their platform to see.
Yeah.
So they'll just delete videos like Leviathan was saying. They'll just
Mm-hmm.
completely take away pages
Yeah.
and people are caught on. It's not it's nothing new,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately.
But the sort of tactics, it's the tactics change in a way of trying to get people to conform. But again, as long as we can still have any platform to speak, Goliath and myself, Leviathan, will still be here. As I was telling him before, what I fear what's going to be happening with more censorship about any sort of podcast or online research or any sort of anything that you want to do online for yourself for an entrepreneur spirit. Think of it where the government is going to take control in the fact that if you want to have to basically your own thing online, you're going to have to go through licensing fees, and it's going to sort of cut down on who is going to be able to go online, and it's going to have more of a controlling factor, kind of like how there's radio broadcasting now and you need licenses and stuff, where if you go on television, you got to sign all sorts of contracts and go through all sorts of lawyer fees and stuff, or newspapers, you need certain credentials for things to be a member of the press. My fear about with the internet, the censorship that keeps encroaching and revving up, not necessarily it's going to happen right away, but I feel that it could very well happen. It is going to basically, they already are demonetizing people that have online presence, right? An online presence for
Yes.
themselves. But I fear that they're going to want to actually fully control and force people to have a license to basically even have a show like what Goliath and myself are doing right now.
So it'll be even harder for people to start up
Yeah.
a channel like me and Leviathan have because
Mhm.
it's going to cost money.
Yeah, well, not only that, it's as I said, it's more of control. It's more of silencing any opposition and
Right, they might even ask, what's your platform?
Yeah.
You got to send them what your platform is.
Yeah.
No, we don't want that.
Yeah.
Then you can't get in.
And for people to say, "Oh, that's never going to happen," it's like it already does happen for like people that are in certain industries already. And whenever there's a sort of a new movement, because the internet has totally blown open the doors from what the newspapers are, what the television, the dinosaur media is, what the radio broadcasting was. You can look at all these different things that have come through the decades, right? Through history, and how people try to censor and control any form of dissent or opposition. And as Goliath pointed out, all these other countries that already currently do this, or they jail you.
And they jail them on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So people, I feel like it's running rampant in this country because people are able to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no. And obviously there shouldn't be, I guess, in terms of jailing people for fake news. I mean, because we live in a free country.
You should be able to determine what you want to look into, and then you can look at all the facts. People have that gratification of knowing that there's stuff they can latch on to.
Because people also have different definitions of what fake news is.
Yeah.
Even though clearly if someone's lying and not telling the truth, that is fake news.
Mm-hmm.
But people think that we're fake news, our channel. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
even
stuff that we're
though
talking about.
it's not just our own opinions here. It's like we actually do research and we actually are willing to openly debate things and have a discussion and look at facts. You know, what is really going on with the world. And, you know, a lot of people themselves, you can judge things for what you want, but for when people are conformed within little boxes in society, it kind of it segregates people and it kind of puts in people into, like, I don't want to say a gulag, but it kind of does in a
Well,
way.
it's like I've said in other episodes. They want people to think one way, a certain
Hmm.
way, their way, and all run like a program, a machine, think
A
one way.
Borg
Right,
mentality, like the communist mentality. You know,
right.
if you don't agree with what they say, then you're an outsider and you're an enemy to the agenda that they're pushing, which isn't good. It's not healthy for any society to survive or thrive. Um, So one of the best ways of combating censorship in itself is to, yeah, just look onto multiple platforms. Don't just look at one thing only. Find as many alternate forms of subscribing to various channels, various platforms.
Yeah, because that's going to be the only way to keep um, honest other outlets, you
Hmm.
know, because YouTube then will have their hands tied if
Yeah,
there's other platforms that people are going to other than just theirs, because YouTube is obviously one of the most popular
yeah.
ones.
It's what everybody looks into,
Yeah,
that or Facebook right away, and
right.
then now with like kind
And
of like
obviously,
Twitter.
they're both run by communists. YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah,
Facebook is Zuckerberg. He's a
yeah.
big liberal, backed Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama.
Hmm.
So and then it just it all seems to be these big outlets, whether it's the news media on TV or the internet, like Facebook, all the big platforms is liberal based run propaganda.
Hmm.
And you know, the more videos that we pump out, the more videos that get shared,
Yeah.
the more ears will hear what we're saying and be
Hmm.
aware of what we're saying, and it's just gonna keep for a more balanced
Yeah,
news.
you want to have a more of an open and free society. And again, yeah, spread the word. Look into as many platforms as you can. If you're just starting a channel for yourself, like do what Goliath and myself, Leviathan have done, or other people in itself, of don't just be on just one channel. Like branch out to multiple areas. Be like the Hydra. You know, they can attack one thing, but you sprout into two different areas, kind of
Yeah.
in a way.
So thanks everybody for tuning into this episode, and we hope to hear from you. And please share the video.
Yep, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on this next episode.